Today is June 15th. The Pirates lose the weekend series to the Cubs. And since we all agree on why they're losing, we're going to debate about something tonight, just for fun. You're listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Let's go. Yins, guys. Thank you for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast, where we talk all about them Pittsburgh Pirates and that. My name is Josh. I am joined, as always, by my brother, Jake. What's up, Jake?
Need my new contacts to come in. They're killing me lately. Gotta go with the glasses for a minute.
Yeah, Bucko Mike's already in it. Devers to the Giants is the big news today. That is wild. Wild trade. And you know what? They took a bunch of money, so they didn't send, Boston didn't send any money, so the Giants took on a bunch of money. So they basically didn't have to send back like a huge return. But it was still pretty hefty.
Yeah.
It's becoming to be close to the trade season, Jake. So I would imagine that we're going to find our way into a lot of trade discussions and everything here. I don't see really anything like this happening.
No.
But this is fun to talk about. Yeah, Harrison, Bucko Mike says Harrison. The thing is, they've already sent him to AAA. They've got a draft pick from last year who I kind of overlooked. And yeah, Melman says Tibbs here. Jake was looking him up a little bit and said, I don't know, this dude might be a stud. So that's
13th overall last year.
That's a thing. I mean, what are they going to do though? I mean, they just called up a bunch of guys to play outfield.
Yeah.
Well, not really. I guess
know.
just two, just Rafaela and Roman Anthony, but now they've got a DH spot open. So
Yeah. And they still got Abreu out there.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, they're
pretty full in the outfield.
They're pretty full. Abreu will be gone to make room for him at that point. Maybe. Abreu might come to the Pirates before then. This kind of hurts does this hurt? Let's keep it Pirates here. Do you think this maybe hurts the Red Sox as a trade partner? Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison. Now they sent Kyle Harrison down. He's 23. He's been fine in the major leagues. I'm sure there's a lot more there to like, but so Melman says Gibbs is in high A, but so Jake pointed out to me before, he was just drafted last year though. He's a college bat. He should move pretty quickly. I think you could probably compare, like, you can tell me how you feel about this, Jake, but like you could probably compare like the level of the prospect. Like he's not Connor Griffin, but maybe like a Termarr Johnson though. He might be that good, you know what I mean, of a prospect.
Yeah, I'm not real sure. I just saw that he was drafted 13th overall in the draft last year, so I just assumed he's a little bit older, but at the same time he might go through the system quick.
Right. Jordan Hicks, I think, is probably a guy that is not. I don't know. I hate saying it this way, but like, is he the Carmen Majinski? A lot further along, but like type where you're saying like, yeah, I mean, he's been okay, but probably better off in the bullpen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was fantastic in the bullpen.
So good for so many years. And then he decided he wanted to be a starter again.
So Melman says Gibbs can also play. It keeps auto correcting him to Gibbs, by the way. I see that happen in Melman. You're good. I know you mean Tibbs. I saw it happen earlier, but he can also play first. Spell check sucks. Yeah, so totally get that. And Casas eventually goes to DH or something like that. You know what I mean? Like who cares? Get the best players you can possibly get. And if you have a problem at positions, you can figure that thing out later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wonder if it doesn't open them up for clear some money anyway that they can re-sign Bregman. I think they really want Bregman to
Oh, I mean,
it
clears out over 200 million. So
yeah.
there's something there. I mean, not only that, but let's extend Marcelo Meyer. Let's extend Roman Anthony and really Rafaela, who's been playing a lot of center field. I mean, he's also a shortstop. So if they need help in the infield, which they shouldn't, but like he also can do that. But there's a lot of guys that can move around. But anyway, not a Red Sox podcast. It is big news. It might kind of kickstart the whole trade season early. I mean, we're in the middle of June and we got this thing moving. Now, my guess is Boston was sitting on this thing for quite a while, waiting for him to get better before they traded him. But anyway, the thing is, there's plenty to talk about the series this weekend. But if I was to sum it up, great pitching, offense still can't do enough. And then we all agree on that, right? I mean, there's just no other way to put it.
Yeah. It's frustrating. It really is, because the pitchers are doing their job, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're really doing their job. Like, this is one of the better offenses in the league so far this year. And they, I mean, incredible. The scores of these games were all 1-run games, and nobody scored more than 3 runs in any game. Unfortunately, the 2 games where somebody scored 3 runs were the Cubs, but we still scored 2 in those games. And I mean, just a crazy outcome. Miles says it here. How about someone acknowledges the Cubs are a good team top to bottom and they couldn't score much either. Good series, unfavorable outcome, not pouting here. The thing is like the only reason that you're upset about this series, I mean, we looked at this and thought this is probably on the road, especially, this is probably a 3-1 lose, which is exactly what it was. However, what makes it hard is, Jake, is that they were in position. They were in position to take one of these games.
Yeah.
At least one of the other games.
Yeah. Yeah. Just couldn't get the big hit in the big situations.
And that's, I mean, I said it in the very first game. The Cubs scored 3 runs on 2 swings. They had 3 batters, right? They had a 2-run homer and a solo homer. They took 3 batters to score 3 runs. The Pirates' 2 runs took them 6 batters in 1 inning in order to create those 2 runs.
Yeah.
And you just have to be able to hit the ball out of the yard.
Yeah.
So let me talk about today's game, because I want to go right into that. We can go wherever we want with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the ball's dead, man. Like, the ball is dead. In a matter of about 2.5 innings or whatever it was, there should have been 4 home runs hit in that game today. Sullivan, Cruz, and then Suzuki and Dansby should have also had home runs. Maybe not Dansby, it was more of a line drive, but like still maybe. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's just no way that you can, and they just kept talking about the wind, and I'm just not buying it, man. I'm not. Sega Suzuki's was probably the most of all of them, where I was like, geez Louise, man. When he hit that ball, I think everybody, I mean, first off, it's worth saying. Every fly ball, that packed house in Chicago is screaming at the top of their lungs. I mean, Pete Crow Armstrong hit a ball in the game today that Cruz came in for, and they freaked out like it was going to be a bomb. So you can't judge the fan reaction, but you look at the players and like they thought they had some home runs. And I don't think that's attributed to wind. We've been seeing it all year, and the data's out there, and MLB has even admitted it.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw was it yesterday, Saturday, the end of the Mets game. Soto thought he had a walk-off.
Yeah. That one was bad.
Like at the beginning of the warning track.
Yeah, so that was the day that Kutch tweeted this out. I don't know if this will all fit on the screen. No, it's not going to. But it's the Soto home run. And Kutch said, I was told by a rep for MLB that the balls are indeed different this year. They stated higher seams, which produces more drag on the baseball. Excuse me. Causing baseballs not to travel as far as they should. Every baseball's hand. So then they made excuses. When asked if there's something to be done about it, they said no. Why not? That's the part that gets me. Like, yes, you can. You've been doing enough. You absolutely could. I don't know if this is going to show up, but I also shared. Let me see if I can get this. That's not that one. It's the one from before that. I'm going back because there's been some work done. You know, Saris, I talked about this on one of the daily pods for like a minute, but now it's like, okay, we're seeing it in Pirate games. I don't think I'm going to find. Oh, I actually just found it. Let's see if we can see this graph in the. No, it's going to show his picture. Wait, that's because let me go that way. See that graph there on the screen? For those of you who are watching on video, for those of you who are listening on audio, I will try to just explain it. Basically, it's a graph from 2016 all the way through this year, and it's showing the drag on balls. Obviously, 2019 really low, which is why we call 2019 balls the juice balls. And you can see in 2025, like it is the highest it's ever been in the StatCast era.
Yeah.
And so like, I understand that the wind blows at Wrigley, but most of the time in day games, man, you're in a favorable environment for home runs.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. And like, here's the other thing. When you talk about like, am I making excuses for the Pirates? Like we're also talking about the fact that we held a very powerful offense to no more than 3 runs in 4 consecutive games. You know what I'm saying? Like you gave up 9 runs in a series, in a 4-game series.
Yeah. Against a really good offense.
Against a really good offense. So kudos to the pitching, but also, yeah, the balls are bad. So that's all. I just feel like that plays pretty heavily for a team who doesn't hit very many. That the ones that they are going to hit are going to be like, those are going to be huge. Basically. Yeah, they're going to be huge swings in a game when you're flying out to the Ivy instead of getting an extra run, which obviously would have been the difference in this game. We would have won in 9 and not even gone to extras.
Right.
So pitching was fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, I talked on Friday morning's show about the Heaney-Tyone matchup, and I'm going to go ahead and leave that. If you want to hear that, go back and check that out. But Paul Skeens Friday night was, I'm telling you, that was that was a really enjoyable game to watch for like baseball heads. And what I mean by that is like the guys who really, really like, guys and girls who really, really like a pitcher and a hitter playing chess and really going at it and having like a huge kind of battle within the war. And I mean, so many times I can just watch an at bat. And if it's long enough, I'm on the edge of my seat. Regardless of what else is going on in a game, I can be on the edge of my seat just from an at bat, right? And I know I'm a little sick like that. And there's other people out there like me, okay? Yeah. And I like to sit there and try to guess what pitch they're going to throw. Where would I go here? You know what I mean? I mean, you've heard me when we're watching games together. I'm constantly asking you, where do you go? Because you were a pitcher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, like, I love doing that stuff. I always want to know what pitch is coming next, where you're going to go with the next pitch and all that stuff.
Yeah. I do the same thing when I'm watching.
So this game, like the Cubs really, I mean, giving kudos to the Cubs here, really did a good job of really, I mean, like he only walked 2 guys and he wasn't missing by a lot. And to get to, where was he at? 95 pitches in just 5 innings. When he only gave up 4 hits and he only struck out 5. There was 24 foul balls hit in this game by the Cubs. They're just fighting everything off. They weren't going off the edges. Just a really good matchup between the two. And obviously Skeens still gives up nothing.
Right.
So while the Cubs did a really good job, bend but don't break kind of thing for Skeens. He was awesome. But they did get him out of there after 5 innings by doing that. Luckily for us, Majinski threw 2 solid innings after a slow start, but then got the double play and then was good after that. And then Ferguson really kind of had the stinker there. And I just don't know why you don't go to Santana at the beginning of that inning. I don't know why it was Ferguson. I know matchup probably played a part in it, but at this point with Ferguson, with Santana, I'm not too worried about matchups. I'm going to let this guy go at it. And I also don't like that he just went out there and got outs and gets a blown save, but that's the way the game is. You know what I mean? That's the way the game is. So it's fine. It should be that way. Ferguson actually gets a hold, by the way, for putting runners on. It's fine. That's the way the game goes. That's why the game is always more than just the stats. We love the stats. I love the stats, but that's why it's always a little bit more than just the stats, because you can't trust them alone. You can't just look at a box score and say like, well, Santana was bad in that game, not Ferguson. Well, you know what I mean?
Right.
I guess you see the run given up by Ferguson, but Santana also, whatever. I don't want to go that far into it. The thing is that pitching was really good against a really good offense. And in that particular game, you get the win in extras. And I have Santana on my fantasy team, so that helped out also because he got a win. So I'm good with that. But yeah, just holding a team like that to 1 run in 10 innings as well. And then Mike Burrows, man, I don't know what else to say. Like the changeup was ridiculous. He had, I think by the end of it, 11. I didn't actually, man. I'm sorry I don't have these kind of notes. I think he had 11 whiffs on the changeup in this game, maybe 12 in the end. I know I texted it to you, but it was just filthy. And he was good all the way through. Went 5 1/3, just the 1 run given up, 8 strikeouts. Dude, Mike Burrows is starting to look good.
15
whiffs? No, 15 overall, right? 12.
It was through 5. You said 9 whiffs so far on just the changeup, 15 overall. So 15 whiffs.
15 overall. I think he got another whiff, another 2 whiffs or something in the before he came out. So maybe 11.
I have to go back and watch that game because I was at work during that game.
Yeah.
And I really want to see that.
You do want to see it because you're, if you guys have been listening long enough, Jake's a changeup guy.
Love changeup.
Well, the changeup was unreal. And it just, that was a great outing. But now we're looking at like 3 solid outings for Mike Burrows, Jake, and he's starting to like, dude, listen, I know we want Bubba. Bubba just walked 4 guys in 1 inning and had to be taken out of the game his last outing. Now that's fine, right? That's going to happen. And that could have happened here. And it would have been like, oh, that was a bad start. He's still great, right? He's still going to have the stuff that's going to be good here. But I'm okay being a little bit patient when I have guys like Mike Burrows going out there. And really, even like Martin says, Ashcraft has been awesome. He's been pitching out of the bullpen. He's also could be a really good starter. But like this guy is, he's showing up. Miles says he's looking every bit as good as pre-injury for Burrows.
My thing with Bubba right now, and I mean, I get it. I mean, he's pretty much there. He's ready. But like, it's not going to help us. Our pitchers are all getting the jobs done and our hitters aren't hitting. So we're just going to bring him up and it's not really going to change anything about our team.
All Shared said he was at the Bubba game.
I'm here for it when a guy's ready to bring him up, and I'm not saying we shouldn't bring him up because it's not really going to help us. I'm just not in a hurry because it's not going to help us. I just don't think now trade Heaney. You got a reason to bring him up. You trade Keller, you got a reason to bring him up.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I just right now where we sit, our guys that are there are getting the job done. So just let him continue to build confidence down in AAA.
Yeah.
Until we need him or he's gonna improve the rotation.
Yeah, I mean, right. It's fine when a guy's down there and he doesn't have a path. I'm a big advocate for what they're doing with. Matt says, "Can Bubba play left field?" I'm a big fan of what they're doing with Ashcraft right now, and you could say Majinski, even though Majinski really like we would like to see back in the pen. But I've talked about it a couple times. Majinski has really turned himself into like saying, "Hey, this guy could be a major league starter." I mean, he's not going to be a top of the rotation guy, and my problem with it is I think he could develop into a back end guy in the bullpen. So I think he could be one of those like higher sought after bullpen guys. Whereas a starter, I think he's going to be the bottom portion of your rotation. But bottom portion of your rotation makes more money than the back end of the bullpen. So I get it.
Yeah.
If that's going to be, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever, I get it. What he's shown is that it's there. So when you're talking about these trades, if let's say you send Majinski with a Andrew Heaney, well, all of a sudden you can get a good return back for that because it's not just a rental. Like you can trade them to a team that might be like, you know what, I would go for that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. We're gonna talk trades soon. I'm just not there yet. I'm just not there yet. I don't even know what that looks like. Homework. Yeah, haven't done any of that. You just don't know. A lot can happen, from here, between here and the All-Star break. A lot can happen. Not really with the Pirates, but with some other teams who might be willing to part with guys and bring guys in and things like that. So it's really difficult there. But it's about that time to start looking around and seeing what you can get and who you can help out. Rob says, would Heaney be enough for Chase DeLauter if the guards are interested in him? No, Chase, they really like Chase DeLauter. He's been hurt this year, so his numbers are going to look a little different. I've seen him play. I go down to Columbus and watch games every once in a while. I've seen him play. He's an absolute cannon for an arm, and he's a big dude and hits the ball like he's a big dude. I mean, Kyle Manzardo's in the show right now and he's doing his thing. DeLauter looks like a little bit of a better version of him even at the plate, but a really good outfielder with a really good arm. So I think it takes more than Heaney to get Chase DeLauter. I think they really like him, and I think he's going to be in this league for a long time. Like that kid looks different than everybody else. I remember like the first time I saw him, it was his first game in Columbus. Indianapolis was in town. I was down there watching them. And this guy was like, who the heck is this guy? And I was like, what's his batting average? And it was called up that day or the day before or something like that. And I was like, oh. And then he threw somebody out at third and then hit an absolute nuke. And I'm like, all right, this guy's legit. Like he just looks different. I don't know if Heaney's not going to be enough to pull a guy like that out from the Guardians. But that's not saying that some of these other guys thrown in there. But the thing is, like, dude, Cleveland took 3 of our pitchers just for Spencer Horwitz. Like they're a tough team, I think, to deal with if that's the case. Kennedy's doing well over there. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I'm so kind of like out of the loop on the way trades work anymore. Because there's just so many low level prospects that get thrown in, and I just don't know the low level prospects.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This is an interesting one here. I said we're not going to talk about trades, and here we are talking about trades. And sorry, checking my time just to make sure that we're moving where we need to. But Mailman says sell high on Falter. Miles says no way. Sign him for a couple years. I'm assuming that was the response that he was going for right there. What do you think about Falter? Do you sell high on Falter, or do you believe in this and say, let's keep it going?
I kind of like the more and more I see of it, I believe in Falter. I sign him up for a couple years. I can see, and he can ride out your 5 spot in the rotation. The only thing you're going to have to deal some other people because we got a lot coming up. So I can see both sides of the fence. You sell high on him right now.
So sign him up for a couple of years. First off, he's not a free agent until 2029. So next year will be his first year of arbitration. He's going to have 3 years of arbitration, 6, 7, and 8, or 26, 27, 28. So he's already really signed for 3 years. As Katie says, keep Bailey. If you guys have heard that story, early on when Bailey wasn't good, Katie said, you know who likes Bailey Falter? His mom. And then we went to a game and he went 6 no-hit innings, and now Katie's all in.
Yeah.
And it's funny because every time he pitches at PNC Park, he's good. So
yeah, I think what he's doing with the extension and everything is real. And I think it's just, I think it's something you just kind of have to hang on to. And he'll have his rough outings. That's why he's going to be like a 5 guy. But he's going to be a good 5-man.
Yeah, really good 5-man if he continues to do this. I mean, he's 28 now. I'm trying to run through this thing. You're talking about having him till he's 31. I mean, I could see throwing an extension out there and taking a year of his. It doesn't keep you from trading him. But the problem is once you're doing arbitration, like, he's going to do pretty well after this season if he continues to do it this way.
Yeah.
He's going to do pretty well. I mean, he has a 336 right now. So with 3 years left, I think you just ride out the arbitration here. And maybe to speak to both sides of this, I would say, Miles, you don't have to sign him up. As there, he's saying, I thought he had 2 years left. And then to Mailman, you may not have to sell high on him. I guess I see, but you still want to get that return. The thing is you'll never be stuck with him. Because if you're just doing arbitration, you could just cut ties with him and only have to pay him that year, and then you're not on the hook for anything else. That's why I wouldn't extend him. I'd ride out the arbitration. But the other thing is like, you're still just, he's in a pretty good spot being 28 years old. But I don't know, man. I guess I think I would try to sell high on him. I think I would. And because of the control, you probably would get a fair return. If you could put somebody else with him in there, like the value in the years of control and the fact that now he's done it for a little bit more than a little bit of time, I think there's a little bit to believe in there. And as soon as we start believing in him like you, then that means there's trade value. And dude, this team needs something. They need bats. They need to figure out. I don't even care if Falter just gets you young bats. I'm okay with it. Stock them up. Yeah. I understand it's not going to help right now, maybe, but you just never know. Maybe you find the right pair. If there's value there, he helps this team by being traded as well. And, but I mean, so back to Miles' comment here and not finding a lefty vet year after year. I don't mind the lefty vet for 1 year all the time. Like, I feel like it's been working okay, and I don't mind going that route until Hunter Barco's there and ready to go, and then you have your lefty, and you don't need to keep bringing in the vet. But the other piece to this is, Jake, is this offseason you could go and deal Mitch Keller, or even this year, and you offload a bunch of money, but what you lose is that veteran presence. Once you trade away Heaney and Keller, you lose that veteran in the rotation that is probably underrated. Do you agree with that, or you think throw young studs out there and let's roll?
I don't mind the vet, the bringing him in every year. But if I feel like if you have one and you know he's good at your park, like Bailey Falter, I think it's a good guy to like just keep around. And not go the 1 year thing.
Okay, but hold on a second. Let's back up just 1 second here. I said Keller and Heaney are the vets. Bailey Falter's not that guy for me. He is not that guy I know he's 28, but like he's been good for a year and a half. I'm saying for me, when I talk about the vet, I'm talking about Keller and Heaney. And if they both go, you have no one left. Even if Falter's still there, but I would be okay with all three of them in a way. So then you're saying, oh, then Skeens is your only vet, and that's just because he's different, right? Not a vet, but he certainly acts like one. But then you're going to say you're going to round out your rotation with like a Jared Jones, a Johan Oviedo, Bubba Chandler. Geez, help me out here. Literally, Mike Burrows. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that?
Did you say Harrington?
Harrington. Hunter Barco eventually. Like, there's arms that you're going to have, but like none of that is a guy who's just going to go out there and go to work every 5 days and kind of be a sounding board for those guys.
Just consistent, the same every time.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. And maybe like Falter could be that maybe, but I just feel like he does things such a different way. And he hasn't really, like, I know Keller hasn't won either, but Keller's gone through so much. I guess maybe Falter gets to that point too. Hey, I stunk for a while. But like Keller being a pirate through all of that, I think there's something there. But Matt says Southpaws like Falter have more value at PNC than most other venues. Totally true, which is why I actually don't mind going out and getting an Andrew Heaney, getting a Jose Quintana, getting, however you want to go about that. Tyler Anderson. I thought there was a couple others I was going to bring up, but certainly not Rich Hill. But the idea of getting Rich Hill, right? It's the same sort of thing.
Who was the one guy we got a while ago? Did we pick up? Was it Casimir? Did we sign Scott Casimir at one point?
Not that I remember.
There was a random. There was a random one in there. I can't remember who it was now.
A random one, though. We never signed him. Unless he never made it to the team. No. We're not on there. I don't know who you're thinking of, though.
No.
But anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. They got to have some decisions to make. But at some point, when you know the talent is there. Yeah, Melman's saying, all right, look, he's repeating Tyler Anderson. Is that who you're thinking of?
It might be. I don't
know. Be, Anyway. I lost my train there. I lost it.
That's me. That's my fault.
No, you're fine. They're going to have some decisions to make, and they need to figure out how to put offense on this team. And I'm just afraid that it's not out there in free agency, at least not for them to get. And we looked at it last year, Jake. None of the guys we talked about are really doing well. None of them would have made a difference in the free agent market. So there's a little bit of like, oh, they weren't in on those guys? Okay. I mean, you signed a guy who's also not doing well. You know what, Jake? I'm going to do something different. We can come right back to this. Hold that thought. I'm going to do something different here. That clap is for Tommy Pham for getting to 10 years. Everybody knows my thoughts on this player being on this roster. But getting to 10 years is a big deal. And I have to stay consistent in my appreciation for someone who gets to that point in their career and now will get their full pension. And the 10-5 thing doesn't really matter. We're not going to try to trade him.
So basically, if he's got his tenure in, we can go ahead to the mound and tap him on the butt and let him go.
Yeah.
We can take him out.
Yeah, we can get rid of him. Here's what I say. You don't get rid of him on his 10-year day.
Right.
Like, that's out of respect. And I'm okay with that respect. Let's say, all right, you have your full pension now. He also gets 10-5 rights, which means he can veto any trade. 10-5, whatever, right? However that works. So he gets he can veto stuff and all that stuff. I don't care. We're not trying to trade him. He can't deny that. So I'm not. Oh, wait. Melman says he don't have the 5. So he doesn't get the veto. I thought that was just the thing about the 10 years that you. I thought so. 10 years of certified assistant milestones impacting their career. Okay, so pension benefits, 10 and 5 rights. Players with 10 years of service, including the last 5 with the same team. So, my bad. I didn't get that part. I don't know why I was not getting that part, but either way, there you go. There's Michael coming in with the save there right after I got there. But either way, you get your full pension. So it's a good thing for players. And now thanks guys. This is why doing the show live and having a chat full of guys that are willing to help you out is the best way to go. Thanks for all the people who join in the chat and help keep us straight here.
There are gypsies, right?
The truck, as they say. Yes. So anyway, either way, we're not going to trade him anyway. So he gets his full pension. So you don't release him on the day that he does that. And you don't release him on Father's Day.
It's fair.
You think that's fair? All right. So it might come this week. Bucko Mike says, fam to the Rockies for a torpedo bat.
Bucko Mike, we finally agree on something. I'm on board.
To the Rockies for a torpedo. Are the Rockies using them? Because it's not helping them either. I don't want their torpedoes. I want the ones in New York. Anyway, it just doesn't even need to be a trade. Just let it go.
Yeah.
And
if anybody wants him, they can pick him up.
Yeah, they can have him. So it's just not a big deal. I'll take the money hit. The problem is it's the same thing with Brian Reynolds right now. And we can transition into that real quick before we get into our other stuff. Reynolds just isn't hitting, man. It looked like he was turning a corner there for a minute, and we are right back to as bad as it could possibly be for this guy. Because of the offense that we have, because of the team that Ben Sherrington built this offseason, you can't have this from Brian Reynolds. He is way too important for this offense. Now, had you gotten a couple extra offensive players this offseason, maybe you could absorb something like that and mess around with him. Move him down to the 6 hole. Get him on the IL with some of these like nagging things that he's had. Whatever it is. You can't do that. Because putting Brian Reynolds in the lineup right now is not much different than putting Tommy Pham in his place. Like, at least you have a shot. Reynolds has 7 or 9 home runs or something like that. Like, at least there's a shot. Pham still hasn't hit one this year. Like, there's just a chance he does something. His one hit, he's on with runners on all the time. I mean, Cruz is getting on base at such a high clip, and then now that Kutch is in front of him, that's been working too. And so, like, there's runners on. He gets more opportunities than anyone else. And every once in a while, that bases clearing triple is huge. But it's still just every once in a while.
Yeah, he's got to figure it out. Like, something's got to give. I don't know if it's a clean reset button for a series like they did with Kutch back in the day. Like Hurdle used to do every once in a while with McCutcheon. Like, I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if.
So here's the thing though. Back then they had somebody they could put in.
Yeah, right now.
They had a lineup around those guys. It's like, we can make do for a series. They can't even make do without him in the lineup.
You can right now because Frazier's hitting just fine and he can play left field. You can have Canario and then you have Cruz in center. Like, you can just put
Canario in his place for a series and
just see what I don't know. Listen, it's not like we're competing for anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? But this guy's got to get going. You got to try to help him out as any way you can.
Bucko Mike wants to bat him 10th.
Yeah. They bumped him down to 3 hole and it kind of helped him a little bit. there for a minute.
For a minute, yeah. And it looked like he was going to turn a corner. We thought we were going to get June Reynolds, but like that was it. We didn't.
Yeah.
You know, and I wrote that piece on steelcitypirates.com last year. Another plug for that site. You guys need to check it out. Michael from 412's here. He writes in there all the time and just great stuff. I wrote that thing last year because I could see signs of everything coming. And we knew that Reynolds had been good in June in the past, and we saw all the signs showing that it was about to come. You weren't seeing the same things this year leading up to it. You're just not. You're seeing things that were different, and it's just not been good, and this team can't afford one of those top three guys not being at least okay or having streaks. Like, sure, Cruz can go down for a little bit and you hope somebody can pick him up, but then he's got to pick it up. He's still had a good year so far. Yeah. You know what I mean? Cruz has. So it's still been a good year. He just goes through those slumps when it's like right now, I think he's just having a hard time recognizing pitches. He's not on time for the fastball. He's guessing too much. There's something there right now. Eventually that goes away with these guys. They can correct that and start going, and that's fine. But I don't know. And there's some in the chat talking about help, and I keep seeing Nick York's name. I don't like Nick York in the outfield. I know he's played it a little bit, but this guy's a really good infielder. I'd much rather see him come up when there's an opportunity in the infield. If it has to be outfield, then it has to be. But he's not a guy who's going to hit for any power either. This team just can't keep getting base hitters on this. They got to hit the ball at least in the gaps. They've got to try to hit the ball out. It just doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm more on board for giving Jack another chance.
Yeah, and there's some of that too, right? I'd rather see Jack get one last chance than Pham. I don't know if I can take any more of Jack. Maybe throw Simon in there, and then there's. But Jack's hitting the ball, and he is hitting the ball hard. There's still some strikeout there. I'm gonna get to see Indianapolis is coming to Columbus this week. I'm gonna be down in a few games as part of the stuff I was going to talk about here. Maybe at the end of the show if we had time, but there's guys that you could bring up that could be as good as Pham. Billy Cook right now could be as good as Pham is, except he definitely would be even better in the outfield. I know that the metrics like Pham right now. I don't see it when I'm watching the game, but the metrics like him. Billy Cook would be better than that. If you're not going to hit and you're going to give me good defense and that's what you want, then get Billy Cook up here because he can do that. Yeah. And at least he's old enough that you could give him a shot. And you talk about last chances. I mean, I give him a shot for a while. For Jack, I need it to go a little longer, I think. I just need to know. I don't want to bring him up here too early.
Yeah.
I think if that guy's going to work out, like I just got to know that it's working out. So I don't know. Maybe I'll think differently. He has been hitting the ball well. Then again, how do you know when it's a streak for Jack? And if it is, get him up there the first day it happens if you can identify it. You know what I mean? That way you can just ride the streak and then send him down because he's also streaky. A lot of these guys are streaky.
Yeah. A lot of guys are streaky earlier in their career too.
Yeah, Rob says here, 55% K rate in his last 15 games. I mean, Jack's going to hit the ball hard, but this is why. Right now, he's adopted that swing and that approach that he had when he was good. Right? Where the strikeouts are high, but he's going to hit for power. And I think that that's a good thing, but it's not there yet. 55% is too high. That's going to increase when he goes to the majors. When he can continue with that, Gorski's hurt right now, Matt. I know you say he can play defense and has power. I agree with that. He's injured right now. But when he can get that 55% K rate down to 25% at AAA, when you're looking at a 15 game, 25 game span, now I'm like, okay, because I can deal with 30% strikeouts in the major leagues from a guy. I don't want like 4 guys in my lineup doing that, but if he can hit the ball over the fence and do 30%, I'll take it right now. It's better than double plays. Oh, there you go. 35% in AAA. So thank you for clarifying that. I didn't think it was, I didn't know what it was. I know it was too high. So I was actually surprised to see 55, but okay. So still 35 in AAA is high still. And like I said, that increases. Yeah. I need it to be 35 or lower in the majors. Right. That's what I need. And I'm okay. I'll take 35 from like the 6 or 7 hole. Right. Just to have somebody in the bottom of the order can hit the ball over the fence. Because right now, Hayes is not going to do it very often. And IKF's not going to do it very often. And really, Adam Frazier's not going to do it very often. Jared Triolo's not doing it very often, although he should be able to. So, like, there's guys at the bottom of this order who's not going to hit the ball over the fence. If you could throw Jack into that mix and have an opportunity, you get a couple guys on for him to actually hit the ball over every once in a while. I mean, with this weekend, that could have swung one of these games. If he doesn't hit it all the rest of the series, but swings one of these games, it makes a difference. All of a sudden, you split with the Cubs instead of losing 3 out of 4. So, that sound good?
Yeah.
All right, there he is. Mitch Keller, also quality start. Just to wrap this series up, quality start. Number 11, tied for the Major League lead with his teammate Paul Skeens. And the team is 3-8 in games that he gets a quality start. Overall, 3-12 when Mitch Keller pitches. I don't know what it is with this team. I can explain it more when we talk about Paul Skeens than I can with Mitch Keller. Because with Paul Skeens, I think that no matter who you're going up against, they are going to bring their A game.
Yeah.
Because they know they have to. So I think you get the best from everyone when they're going up against Paul Skeens. I really do. So there's some pitchers that I think it's still ridiculous. It's ridiculous for it to be that much, but we also know what this roster looks like and know what this lineup looks like. It's kind of hard to expect a whole lot from a team like this when you're facing the best that anybody has to give most nights because they know there's no room. They take it up to a playoff level every time Paul Skeens is on the other side.
It's not just a Pirates thing either. Like we talked a little bit about the Red Sox stuff at the beginning of this, and they have Garrett Crochet, who has yet to win a game at Fenway.
Yeah.
And his lines are always good, but either it's the other pitcher coming in, same thing what you're saying, they're giving their all, they're giving their best every time, or it's just the offense isn't scoring when he's pitching. He threw 8 1/3 innings. Yeah, I think one of his recent outings at Fenway and didn't get a win.
Right.
It's the same stuff we're seeing. So it's not just Pittsburgh. Even though ours is day in, day out with our offense.
Yeah.
It's just
more
really
than one, right? Mitch Keller's still over a 4 ERA, but is having the same thing. Now, 11 quality starts, Jake. Like, he's still pitching well. He's gotten blown up on the games that he didn't, but this is consistently bad because this offense is consistently bad. Yeah. There's not enough home runs in this offense to just swing a low-scoring game like that. Just needs a 2-run homer.
Yeah.
All these games would have been fixed by a 2-run homer, given the fact that they were all 1-run games, and they're all low-scoring. So it's not like you needed to load the bases up and hit a grand slam or anything.
Yeah.
Like these games are just winnable because you're only giving up 9 runs in 4 games to one of the best offenses in the game.
Good job, pitching staff. You did your job.
You did your job. Hey. And at the same time.
I'm bummed out.
Yeah, right?
I mean, it's.
And of course, in the Sunday's game, you have who else is going to beat you?
Who else?
Ian Happ, of course.
Yeah. Okay. So get the Manfred runner out of there. We've got a couple things to talk about, and we thought we'd have a little bit of fun with this. Let's turn this a little bit. Let's be done talking about the Cubs series.
We're gonna have to save some of these for later. We got 9 minutes.
We only got 9 minutes. Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry. 8 minutes.
8 minutes. Well,
we can bring some of them up. We'll save some of them for
you know what?
day.
No, let's save it. No, let's save this for another day. Let's save this for another day. We're wrapping it up. We're not going to talk about it. You guys on the edge of your seat right now.
We can talk about the one that you've already brought up, the Manfred Runner. We'll talk about the Manfred Runner.
Well, let's just say get the heck rid of it.
Yeah. Get it out of here.
We got to get it out of here. Listen, here's my compromise, Jake, because I'll try to do this. 12th inning. Can we just do that? Can we just wait till the 12th inning to do it? Let's let the 10th and 11th play out a little bit normal.
Yeah, it's very similar to the college football where all of a sudden you have to go for 2. You know, the first round you can kick the extra point. Second round you have to go for 2, and then it's just 2-point for 2. Like to a point, I understand the rule, but let's put it off. Like
I know what you're doing.
Like you're saying, 10th and 11th, let's play it out.
But once we get past our back end guys and we go to Majinski to throw us 3 innings and extra innings, now let's put it on. Let's save those kind of guys. What is this? I don't think I know this reference. Oh, wait. I got you. He's saying you ain't got 8 minutes. Go long. You don't have to stop at the hour. Yeah, but this conversation might be, I mean, the way me and Jake can go, this thing might be 25, 30 minutes.
At least,
because we've got some things. You know what, though? This will give us some time, essentially, just to let you know, like we're going to, and I want, maybe this is a better way, Jake, because we can tell. Here's what we want you guys to do. Think about some rules that you want removed from the game, like the Manfred Runner, like intentional walks or home runs. No home runs. Now and forever, there will never be home runs. When the ball goes in the stands,
run limit.
They throw it back, and you get to play. You get to get it from the guy. So if you catch one from your team, you got to throw it somewhere where the fielders aren't. You're all part of it.
Well, we were talking about like slow pitch softball rules and stuff like that. Like some of those are crazy, but would any of them work?
Yeah. So the other piece of that is
in there. What are you getting rid of?
Exactly. Is that the Manfred man you're speaking of? The extra base runner in extra innings, the Manfred Runner, the ghost runner. It's not. I don't like when they call it a ghost runner. There's actually a guy out there. Anyway, we want to talk about maybe some other rules that we could bring in just for fun. We thought, let's do this. I don't know, Jake. I kind of want to talk
gets
about
5 home runs per game. After that, it's an inning ending out.
It's not that. It's deuce. Oh man, it's deuce. Okay. Yeah, Jake, I don't care. Let's do it. We don't have to go all the way into them. We'll pick a couple. All right. We're going to put the extra bag at first base.
Yeah.
That you have a running lane for the batter now, and you have a throwing lane for the catcher. We're putting a bag at first base. We're done with the Tristan Casas injuries. We're done with all this stuff. We're putting a bag out there, and then you have rules that you have to set up, like the fielder has to be on the white bag, and the runner has to be on the gray bag, because they're not going to make it orange. Like this isn't softball; they're going to make it another color. So it's going to be gray.
College baseball, I think, uses green.
Yeah, that's right. They use green, so they're not doing orangey. They're going to go with gray. So you have to go to that. So that's it.
I'm just tired of the runners not having a lane to the bag. Yeah. Here's your running path, but the bag's over here.
They gave them the dirt now. Remember, they said you get the dirt, you can't go in the grass. So I get that, but I think it's just time that we get over it and we get the double bag. And maybe, so there you go. Miles, I like the double bag at first. Rob says,
double bagged it.
Move the massive dimensions back and get more triples. I mean, so a team like the Pirates, or really the Cubs, they wouldn't mind that because they're going to have a center fielder that can run some stuff down. Dude, PCA can run him down.
Yeah, he can.
I don't like the way he goes about his game, but he's smooth in the outfield, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the one thing Martin says, Savannah Bananas. All right, so that's the one thing that we want to try to avoid. Like, let's not go Savannah banana style. We're not doing hip thrusts. We're not doing outfield catches ball and you're out. The stuff I was talking about, the home runs, I was being funny. That was 100% something the Savannah Bananas would do, though. But like, we want to try to avoid that kind of stuff. But there are some legitimate rules that I think could be implemented that would make sense in today's game. So one of the things that I want to talk about, though, because we saw this in the game this week in multiple times, but specifically Tommy Pham. Dude, they got to fix left-handed balk rules. Nobody's calling it.
Yeah.
And when you look it up, the definition is if they think you're intentionally trying to deceive the runner, which I hate because you should be deceiving the runner.
Yes.
But also what they're saying is you can't step towards home and throw it to first. And there used to be a 45-degree angle that they always said, if you're 45 degrees, if you go beyond that, they go beyond it every pickoff move. Yeah. Every pickoff move, they go beyond that 45-degree angle. The other one was when you lift your leg, you can't cross the other leg. Right? So when that front leg comes up, it's
the plate.
Once
you can't cross the pitcher's plate.
Okay.
The rubber.
So once you cross, you have to go home. Right?
Yeah.
Put that in play. And say, that's what we're going to call.
Yeah.
That way, if they do it, they can't throw to first. If they're stepping towards home and it's that 45-degree angle, which is a judgment call, that's fine. But right now, they're not calling that, and they're definitely going beyond that. They're not stepping towards first. We saw a slide step this week. A slide step that was a pickoff move. That's a balk. You can't do it. You're stepping. That was like almost directly to home. It was terrible.
Jeez.
Like we gotta fix the balks for lefties. They balk almost every play.
Yeah.
Fix them.
And that's just enforcing a rule that's already in play.
Well, kind of, because it's a judgment call, right? There's no 45 degrees. There's no crossing the plate. Like those aren't in the rules. So they need to say, these are the things. They've done this with errors. They've gotten with all the people and they've said, this is what we're going to call. You know what I mean? So do it.
Yeah.
I heard a quote from an umpire that said, I've spent 20 years. He's retired now. I spent 20 years in the majors or whatever. Never called a balk. What are you doing?
Dang it, Bobby.
Just collecting them paychecks.
Yeah, seriously. That's not something to brag about either. But anyway, fix them. All right, so let's go to second base. I know you had something at second base you're tired of.
Yeah, I'm just tired of the double plays at second base. Like, clean up that ruling as well. You can't just run through the base at second base. That's just not an option.
Right now you can, right? So
right now you can. It's just, in my opinion, it's absurd. Like, I don't even like that they went and like you can't slide into the guy trying to you're supposed to try to break it up.
You still can. So long as you can reach the bag, you can slide into him.
And I totally agree with that, but you know, they're just so nitpicky, and it's just clean it up. That's what I want the rule cleaned up. You have to get out of his way to a point. Like if I'm going in standing up and you throw the ball and hit me, that runner first better be out. And as it goes right now, I don't think it is. Because they're allowed to run through the base.
Right, because once they're out, they're done.
Yeah.
But you can hit him. If you hit him, then he's in the way. He's already been out. He has to get out of the way.
Yeah,
But they're also trying to just like, if they run through, they might actually be safe. Right? Even though they'll run right past the bag, but they'll be safe, and then they can get the out at first, and you can get back to second if you're safe. Or they'll stop and go tag you out, but then they're not going to get the out at first. So it's another way of that's the strategy behind it, right? But if you're saying put a stop to it, that's, change it up.
I did not know that was a strategy to that. I just thought they were just trying to block the view of the.
Well, that
fielder.
too, but they're running through the bag, so they don't have to slow down. Now, some of them just slow down before.
It's just slow down, jog right through it. Like,
right. So they're not doing the
the
thing. Yeah, they're not doing anything. Yeah. They're trying not to get hurt by sliding, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's another part of it.
They already have 75 layers of equipment on. Ban the oven mitt.
Ooh, no, you know what? I understand what it's doing, though. If anything, it's like if it is giving you an advantage and everybody needs to wear it. Anyway, yeah, no, I think there's a lot of stuff.
Collision. I don't mind like collisions at second base. They're usually not horrendous. I understand putting in the rules that they put in to make them not as egregious, like not wildly just, I'm going to jump at this guy and break up a double play. Like you can't do stuff like that anymore. I think that's a good thing. But I don't.
Yeah, if you go in cleats up, they should be able to review it and not just call him out, but throw him out of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you go in cleats up or something like that, like intentionally trying to get at somebody. But also, they got the fielders out of the way. If a guy's sliding into the base, you can't just put your leg in front of second or third to block the base. Like you have to give them a lane. I think that's good too, because you're giving them the opportunity to get there. If they have to be able to slide right there and they can't do other things, you know what I mean? Like we have to do, it has to be a give and take. Well, the other one I don't like is when you get to second base, Jake, I think you should just be at second base. If you slide past it, that's on you. But I just saw somebody get out because they got to second base. They're standing on second and they jumped to do a cheer with their team, which, okay, don't do that. But they tagged him and they reviewed it and got him out. And I'm like, that's not what review was for. Like, that's not why we put it into place.
Do you remember a long time ago we were talking about this and I said there should be an infinity
straight up
going straight up? I still think that.
Yeah, I think it should absolutely be straight up. And if you're above the base, then you should be safe. You could do a pop-up slide if you want and switch from one leg to the other. And if they're tagging you during that process, then all of a sudden you're out. No. Did you beat the ball? Yes. Were you safe? Yes. That's not what replay is for, to get this kind of stuff wrong. Now, like I said, if you slide clear past it, that's on you.
100%.
But if you're right on top of it and you're just switching hands and you happen to, you know what I mean? Or you're switching feet over top of the base with your whole body over the base.
Yeah.
Then I think that's outside of the spirit of what we're doing. And I think you just need to scratch that and say he's safe.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Been saying that for a long time.
Yeah. Understand what we're doing review for. And then say, hey, in these events, like we're trying to get when the ball beat the runner there and the tag beat the runner there, that's what this is for.
Right.
Not for some like weird, I got you in the middle, like your foot barely came off.
Even like the ones where they slide head first and they go up and over the base and their belt buckle, like everything is still over the base, but they come up off of it a little bit.
Before their thigh hits it, right? Their hands are
safe.
You're safe. So long as your feet and everything, so you don't slide clear past it, like you should be safe. If totally.
You're sliding literally over the base and you have a little bit of a gap,
you're
safe.
Yep. Miles says, I like the infinity rule. I mean, like I said, if you're off to the side and you're switching hands that way, or you slide past it and you're trying to get something else on, that's different. You came off the bag. You forced that. But if you're literally over the bag, that's not the spirit of, we're supposed to be calling the guys who beat the ball there in the tag safe and the guys who didn't out.
Yes.
That's what it's for. But all right. So that's the other one at second base. And then some of the other ones are just fun. So, we'll throw them out there, but they don't really have to be anything. Okay. Cause we will keep this moving and we won't have to go long. I'm going to go with a home run that goes over the fence is a dead ball. It's a home run. Now, in slow pitch softball, you don't have to run the bases. That feels like it's too far. Right?
Yeah.
But I do not ever want a guy to hit a ball over the fence 15 rows deep and then somebody say, oh, he actually missed first, giving the high five to his thing, and they appeal and he's out. He can't be out. The ball went over the fence. He can't be out. I don't know how you figure it out. I don't know how you work that in, but this happened because in the college softball game, the girl came in and she jumped to cheer with her fans, and she just happened to miss home plate. And one of the players drug her back, which you're not allowed to do in the rules. You're not allowed to assist them to a base. Drug her back to touch home. Now, it wasn't called. It was called a home run. The game ended. They didn't review it. They didn't do anything like that. But it was a big, big stink. And I'm like, dude, she hit the ball over the fence off your pitcher. She's already earned the run. What are we even talking about? What were you going to do about it? Just wait and see if somebody, I mean, I know you've said just don't miss the bag, but like you remember Mark McGwire jumping and missed first base, right?
Well, what did he do?
He went back and hit it because you have to.
100%.
But like he should have just keep running, man. Like it's not a big deal. Run the bases, get your fireworks, and this is dumb. This is dumb. You already won.
I 100% understand what you're saying, but I also think it's just too easy to touch the bases that we don't need it. I think I think it's just.
Well, we talked about Nick Gonzalez, right?
Don't
we talked about Nick Gonzalez. And he gets hurt when he hits a home run.
In the event of an injury.
He should be able to just shut it down and go to the dugout. It's still a home run. He hit the home run. It doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. Look, we have a couple things about Key Brian Hayes where he missed first base. That big deal, man. He already hit the ball over the fence. It's over. I forgot about that. That's actually that should have been my leading point. That should have been my leading point.
It's just not over though.
It should be. Until you can go up and get the ball and bring it back in play, then I'm on board. If he can do that, I understand touching them all.
I'm on board for the injury. In the case of an event of an injury, I think, dude, just let him get off the field. Like,
okay, so
it's over. In the event of an injury, I'm on board.
So let's get real. I was gonna say, let's get real. First base is the only one you're ever gonna miss. Maybe home in the event of a walk-off when you're coming in. Home might be one that you'll miss. Right. Other than that, you're not going to miss third. Although in the same year, within days, or at least like a week or so of Key Brian missing first base, Bobby Witt Jr. still in AAA missed third base and got out on it after a home run. And so, well, of course, nobody made a big deal about that because it's Bobby Witt Jr.
How you miss a bag? Like I understand how you miss first base.
Well, Keys made sense. He was still watching it and he was rounding. He was watching. He was seeing if it was going to go. He missed first base. The play's over. At that point, go touch the rest of them and score, and that's it. We're not appealing on a base. If this is going to happen once every 15 years, yeah, and I'll say this, the injury thing would be the exception to say, like, you ain't got to run them, dude. You just pull a hammy, go down there, we're going to bring you in. But the thing is you can't do that unless you remove this rule to begin with. I say you just let it go, and if they miss first base and they don't who cares? The play's over. You're not appealing. That's stupid. We're throwing that out. That's all we're doing.
I don't know if
you still got to run. You still say touch them all. I'm just saying there has to be something. You've already won. If you hit the ball over the fence, you've already earned the runs. That's my point, and that's where I want to go with it. And we got to figure something. And it all happened just because that girl jumped over home plate on a walk-off. Dude, just walk off the field. You've been beat. Don't go crying about it trying to appeal stuff. You just got beat. That's a technicality. We're not playing that game. It's a home run. Game's over.
But you got to play by the technicality. It's a professional level.
That's a good point. I just, Kendrys Morales wishing he never had to run the bases. And like I said, like, I understand the idea of like, you got to run the bases, but like, that's just the play's over.
If you don't have to touch them, there's no point in running them.
Yeah, I know. I know
you could hit and sit at that point.
I know. And that's the problem I have with it. Listen, I didn't vet it all out.
I know.
I'm just saying, if a base was missed, there is no appeal. That's all. Just remove the appeal on a home run.
I don't know.
Matt says, in a case of injury, MLB would probably require pinch runner, but you can't. Like, it's already.
You're in the middle of a play.
Yeah. Like,
but you're not.
It shouldn't be. The play should be dead. It's already a home run. You can't do anything about it now. Pout. That's all you can do. Cry about it.
Well, Lottie frickin' God.
I don't care. It's a home run. All right. Anyway,
one thing I would like to see put in is a re-entry rule. I'm in on a re-entry. I don't know how exactly you would go about it for the major leagues, but like starters can re-enter, subs cannot. You know, it's
yeah. I think some way.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, I think in some ways I really like the idea of a re-entry. And you and I talked about this in the middle of the week, and we actually both had thought of this, but in different ways. I kind of think that you should be able to do a pinch hitter or pinch runner in a moment. And my version of the story was you have to declare at that moment that your starter will re-enter. If you don't declare that, it's kind of like when the coach comes out and he points with his right hand or his left hand, that tells you what handed pitcher has to come out. And that, so like, you know, I guess I'm just going with the technicality, but you have to declare right away. This is a re-entry. Oh, by the way, no pitchers, right? And either one we're talking about. No pitchers. Right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So neither one of us are saying pitchers are there, but if you declare I'm putting in G1 beta run, but my starter's going back in when we go back to the field, or right. when his turn is over, whether he scores or gets out, then the other guy gets re-entered back in. So that would be my thing. Absolutely, would have to declare it ahead of time.
I think about like our roster right now, the way it is, and say we have Triolo playing first base for a game, and they bring in a righty late in the game, and we're like, you know what, we're gonna pinch hit with Spencer Horwitz, and Triolo is gonna go in to play first again. Like, I know, like, you're not losing it, like it's still a very good defensive player in Horwitz, but I'm just using that because it's top of my head, because you'd want that bat rather than Triolo bat. But Triolo's going to go back and play first. Yeah, or you're giving Kutch a day off, but you want to get that bat from him, but not have to give the rest of the game to him or something. Yeah. Or you don't have he doesn't match the position. Right. You know what I mean? Hey, well, we're down to one catcher, but I want to hit for this catcher, or run more specifically for the catcher. Yeah. Something like that. I think that to avoid it from being just flat out, you can re-enter. Because I told you, a major leaguer, when you're done, you're done. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think it has to be a specific scenario. And to me, the biggest scenario you're going to see is pinch running. Yeah. Because you're just going to want to get speed out there in a moment that you want to try to get that run in, but then you want your guy coming back in. I would do it a lot less for pinch hitting. If I'm pinch hitting, I'm probably just putting the guy in. Unless, of course, it's a situation like that, you know what I mean, where you're saying, well, positionally, we don't want to do this. But I think you could probably do something like that. I don't know. This obviously, it's not a big thing, but I don't know, man. I'm interested in this as some sort of strategy. It has to increase strategy for me. If it doesn't increase strategy, then we're just putting in, little league rules. You know what I mean? Yeah. There has to be some kind of strategy behind it in order to make it happen. I need a bunt down right here. I don't know. You don't ever really need a bunt down right here. Not anymore. Not anymore. We can talk about that too. But Miles says re-entry is a great concept, but maybe with a shrunken roster. I actually would have said maybe an increased roster so I could carry a guy like G1 Bay and only let him run bases. Of course, he's not a good base runner, but I just mean the speed. If you remember back to like when the Kansas City Royals had, what was his name? Billy Hamilton.
No, when they won the World Series, Terrence Gore. That guy never played. He would pinch run every game at least once. Yeah. So I think about it like that, and I'm like, yeah, this guy's basically just does this. I don't know. Yeah. I also could see it being a situation where Reynolds goes back for a fly ball. He smacks into the Clemente wall. He's down. Oh, no. We don't know how serious it is. He just hit the wall. We're going to get him out of here because we're not going to hold up the game because we want all the games to only last an hour. That was an exaggeration. So we don't want to hold up the game. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this guy in right field. We're going to get Reynolds out of the way. And the plan is to re-enter him. And then we're going to evaluate Reynolds during that half inning. And if he can go back in, he can go back in. If he doesn't, like if he can't go back in, then we have to sub in. Right? Now, or if it's not a straight up, like if you decide at the half inning, you have to tell him like, hey, he's not coming back in. That guy's going to stay in. You know what I mean? You'd have to decide that at the half inning. You have to approach the umpire and say, hey, he's actually not going to re-enter. He's done. I think for injuries alone, something like that, like a guy runs down to first and he's like, oh, maybe a hammy there. All right, let's get him out of there. Or takes a foul ball off the knee. Let's get him out of there. Let somebody else hit. He's going to re-enter. But once it goes past the half inning line for me, I'm done. I'm not going to take Horwitz out in the third inning and put him back in the eighth. That's the part where I'm like, no, we're not doing that. A major leaguer, when he comes out, he comes out. You know what I mean? So I think there's some scenarios there between the two of us. I think they can make some kind of re-entry rule. Matt says that's a little league thing. Bring back the 40-man bench in September. So, yeah, maybe. I don't like that either for the same reasons. I'm really a mixed bag on the 40-man rule. I don't know. There's no way you can implement it where it's like, okay. Because it would help a team like the Pirates. But then again, that's the whole point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I think they should. What do they expand it to at this point?
28. You get an extra pitcher and an extra position player.
I'd be okay with 30. I don't know about 40.
I don't. It probably just doesn't even need to be a thing. Like you don't need to change that.
Yeah.
But maybe that's another one. I don't know. Challenge system needs to be figured out next season. Are we done? Get it in. That's technically not a rule that's in place right now. So
I think it will be. I think it'll be ready for next year.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It has to be. It has to be.
I think they plan on it.
They got to get it in there. And I know there's some holdups right now because you essentially have to size every player for the zone. You know what I mean? Like you got to go in and get fitted essentially for your strike zone. And they're just like, we don't have that everywhere. We'll get it everywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? You've got time right now to get it everywhere. You've got over, 9 months now or something. Get it in. So we've seen too much of that already this year that we could have challenged and had different opportunities. And somehow they got away with challenging that Frazier foul ball today. I don't know. They didn't challenge it, but I don't know how they.
Hey, crew. What'd they say? Crew.
Yeah. Discussion. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, they got it right.
They used.
That's the thing is they got the call right.
After review, actually after.
Yeah.
Consultation.
Crew consultation. Yeah. Either way, they're. Yeah. I don't know. We thought this stuff would be fun to talk about. There could have been more. We could have went further into these things with our time. We decided we told you it'd be like 20, 30 minutes. We're approaching that.
And we shortened it.
We did. We shortened it. We could have really fought more about that home run dead ball thing. Because I don't have it figured out.
Right.
I'm just tired of that. I think the play's over when you hit the home run. That's all. That's my only argument. I don't have anything else. That's the only thing I have is that you've already won the at-bat. We're done. But I get it. I get it. There's a lot of rules that I would probably argue completely the same against that. So there you go. You know what? I will say this about the challenge system and all that stuff. Because of this, what Matt says here in the chat, also the zone isn't a rectangle, but a 3-dimensional pentagon. Get the box off the TV. Just get it off the TV. Once you get the challenge in, until then, you don't have to. But as soon as you get that challenge in, get the box off the TV. I don't even know where that box is supposed to be. Is it the front of the plate? Is that the back of the plate? Is it somewhere in the middle of the plate? Because I'm sitting here looking at balls that are off the plate. And I'm like, if that's the front, it could have maybe hit that 3-dimensional box in the back. If that's the back, then maybe across the front. Like, how am I supposed to know? I just have a square on the TV, which, by the way, doesn't change for every hitter.
Right.
Actually, I think they're starting to change it more often. I think I'm starting to see it shrink a little bit for some guys. But either way, there was a game recently where they couldn't get it working. And I specifically paid attention to it because I was like, if I'm going to argue for this, I better like this. And I did. I still had times where I was like, where'd that miss? You know what I mean? And I want to know, but until you can challenge it, we'll still have all the stuff. Like game day, you can still pull game day up and see the box and see where it was at. Just like you do when you go to the game. If you want to know and you want to tell whatever the umpire's name is, I keep, when we go to the games, we find out what the first name of the umpire is, and we yell at the umpire by first name because it's the show. And I say it a lot of times. We've got the app too, Bruce. We know if that's a strike. I'm seeing your missed calls. So you could still pull that up and look if you really care. But I think just to enjoy the game on TV without thinking about that, just get the box off the screen.
Amen.
So, yeah. Anyway, that's all I got for the rules and stuff. Not really. Not all of them aren't even rules, really.
Right.
They're just like, hey, amend this.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything else?
I did like some of the comments in there, like the bigger dimensions. I'd be down for some bigger fields.
Well, they could do that.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
Every time they do, they make them smaller in 2 years.
Right. I mean, there's been talk about PNC right now. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, don't change it. Could you imagine if they get rid of the notch?
I could imagine it.
I mean, it's a thing.
I feel like they could.
Yeah.
I don't really want them to.
No, I like the character. And it goes back to that. Like, and the thing is there are minimums in Major League Baseball. You can't go shorter than certain things. And if you do, you have to go up. You have to go vertical. If you do go shorter than that, there are rules in what you can do. But as far as the character and how deep you make them, I don't know that there is a limit on how deep it can be. But I'm sure there is. I mean, I'm not sure, but I don't think there is. You can kind of do what you want. That's the whole beauty of baseball. I've heard people argue against it. Basketball, you've got the same court everywhere. Football, you've got the same field everywhere, which you don't, by the way. There's different field surfaces that do change.
Sure. But
it's still the same. It's 50 yards across. It's 100 yards deep. It's 10-yard end zones, blah, blah, blah. Right? The field goal post goes here. Imagine one place was like, we're going to put it over to the left a little more. Ours is on the left hash. Have fun.
Our crossbar is higher, but it's closer to you.
We pointed it towards the 25-yard line right in the center, even though it's moved over. So it's an angle. It's going to be tough. That'd be awesome. Or just make it out of a brick wall or something. There's a hole in this wall. Get it through the hole. You're good. Oh, anyway, that's the beauty of baseball, man. Being able to have all the different stuff and all that.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it. Oh yeah. Miles says, you guys ever play in a no fence field?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Actually, quite often.
I played at a field in Pittsburgh. It was up by the veteran hospital, and center field there was no actual fence. It was on like an old football field, and just way deep in center field you saw just a marker on the brick concrete wall that said 480 something.
Oh jeez.
Jeez. So technically there was a fence, but we're going to call that no fence.
Yeah.
For some college guys in a wooden bat league.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not worried about hitting that.
No.
Nobody's hitting that. Football's played on a gridiron. Baseball's played in a park. Yeah, that George Carlin bit is really good. It is good. Yep. Bucko Mike says County League in his 20s, played with no fence. Yeah. Dude, baseball's just fun like that. I mean, so long as you don't change the infield, really, you're still going 90 feet. You know what I mean? Pitcher's mound's still the same distance away. We're good. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
Do whatever you want in the outfield. Build some character. What I don't think, though, is the Chicago Cubs need to figure out their foul lines. There's no foul territory in the outfield, and it's a brick stinking wall. Fix that. Just take away some seats. Just move it a little bit. Give yourself some dirt down there. That's terrible.
They aren't ever going to change that layout.
They should. They should just move that. Just give me a little bit of room. You can't even go get a ball that's in fair territory because if you slide, you're dead. You're just not going to live anymore. Be like today at the Cubs game, Jake Booth tried a headfirst dive down the right field line. We've lost him.
I mean, after I go see it, I want them to get rid of the brick wall.
I don't care if they get rid of the brick wall in the outfield. And you know what? Maybe the foul territory is not. It's not actually a brick wall, but I don't care. Move it. Give me 3 feet of foul territory. Is that enough? Just give me 3 feet of it.
At least.
It's all right. Do that. All right, let's get the heck out of here, man. I don't have any more sound clips to play that are going to... Oh, wait.
Because those are the rules of Sticky McSnickens. That's why.
All these rules were made up by a guy in a field just making it up as he goes anyway. I said 3 strikes, not 2. I know what I said, shortstop. If you guys haven't seen Ridiculous 6, man, you'll get that a lot more if you see it. You gotta see it. It's so funny. Hey, I'm going to go see Indianapolis at least 3 times this week. Bubba, I believe, will pitch Tuesday. Barco on Wednesday. I already have tickets for that one. Thursday, I'm not sure. And I think Harrington is Friday. So I'm at least going to 3 games. And then Bubba, again, should be on Sunday. So maybe I'll go to a Sunday game as well. I usually don't go down there on the Sunday games, but I might.
Yeah. 28th, I'll be in Pittsburgh. So
yeah,
going to the game in Pittsburgh on the 28th.
Yep, hit Jake up if you're going to that game too. We good?
We good.
We good. Day off tomorrow. Today, if you're listening to this, it's today. And then 3 games against Detroit. Should be fun.
Yeah. Best record in all of baseball right now.
Wow. All right. Well, this song's going to end before Keely does. Let's go, Bucks.
Let's go, Bucks.
Thanks for listening to my dad and Uncle Jake on the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Bridge2Buctober. Don't forget to subscribe so you know when new episodes are released. Clear the deck, cannonball coming, and let's go Bucks.